So Josh, really great to see you. Maybe you could talk a little bit to start us off about why we set up this network. I mean, it's been really fun to do together. It's been going for about 6 months now, hasn't it? So maybe you could talk a little bit about why it is that you decided to get involved.
Yeah, I'm as a JRF at Churchill College. I know how challenging it can be to reach out to faculty and find your connection to the university and sort of find your way as a researcher, and also find opportunities to teach. And so knowing that it can be a struggle, I wanted to make sure I could help. And I saw the Volunteer the Call, went out and volunteered to set up. And it's been so great to be able to work with you and meet all of the different groups, especially working with the School of the Humanities, Social Sciences as their representative. And so how about you, Georgina? Why did you get involved? What really inspired you to jump right in?
Yeah, I think really similar reasons. I mean, I've had a kind of range of different posts. So I mean, like you've been a JRF and now have a sort of teaching post. And so seeing a kind of taster of the diversity of the kinds of roles that our community has. And I think it's been really interesting, hasn't it, meeting people, coming to our events and kind of connecting through this network and seeing the range of different things people want and need. And I think it was really important to me to kind of give a voice to those people and talk about, what's difficult about this, what's fun, what's inspiring, and get together. And also, I think, to shine a light particularly on the arts and humanities and social sciences. So it's been great kind of collaborating with you. Obviously, you're from the School of Humanities and Social Sciences, and I, as someone in English, am from the School of Arts and Humanities, which is that like strange bit of Cambridge bureaucracy that's come to light through doing this. And I think for me, kind of advocating for early career researchers in the arts and humanities and social sciences is particularly important. And a word that's come up a lot, hasn't it, for us has been that word postdoc.
Yeah.
Do you think that word has changed for you, that its meaning as we do?
Yeah, definitely. That's one of the first conversations I think we had, was putting sort of parameters around what an early career researcher was. Is it an early career scholar? Is it a postdoc? Is it a JRF? Is it a CTO? Is it a UTO? How do we capture the type of community we want to bring into this ECR assembly, and then especially making it relevant to the arts, humanities, and social sciences? Because there is a difference between the types of roles we take on in the university and how our voices are heard and the needs or concerns in our various disciplines, and being part of the sort of shape portion as opposed to STEM for the social sciences, humanities, arts, people and economy sector. It's really important that we create a critical mass and come together. And so that's one thing that's been super exciting, is being able to meet people in arts, humanities like yourself, and see how different each early career researcher's experience can be. How many postdocs you'll take, how many fixed term contracts you'll take, what are the concerns that are facing you right now, and how to make that better is, I think, what it's been so wonderful for me to learn.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's that connecting, isn't it, that's really important, because I think one of the stereotypes of the arts and humanities and social sciences is that we operate more as kind of individuals. The idea of a postdoc often can attach itself to being part of a larger project. But obviously that can be true. There are massive £1 million arts and humanities projects being funded, but I think more often our experience is to be a solitary researcher with a fellowship, or have a particular teaching job within a slightly unclear sort of administrative structure, which is great in so many ways, because then you have the freedom, to carve out your own trajectory and to make things happen that you want to happen. But I think it's really important to kind of, gather together and talk about those differences and the similarities.
Yeah, and speaking to that, this idea of trajectory and the vectors that we're having to sort of find our way through and navigating all of this madness of precarity, it'd be great. Do you want to talk a bit about our next event that's coming up? Because we had this really successful launch early in the spring, and it was well attended. We had so many members of the administration come. We had members from Postdoc Academy who are, they have more members from STEM, and their program is available to all ECRs, but we wanted to make sure our ECR assembly members were heard. Okay, so there were a few things. It was wonderful just to meet members, early career researchers who some of them are facing very serious financial constraints right now, and being able to talk with them and meet with those members of our community. But then it was really exciting to actually meet people who had been in arts, humanities, and have moved into positions that are administrative roles, and to see them flourish and know that there might be some possibility that I could find a position like that in the university, that there are some opportunities that might present themselves.
We were being listened to and heard, and like University of Cambridge was really taking this initiative seriously and wanting to hear about what we, what this community need and wants. And I think it worked really well, didn't it, that we had that questionnaire where we asked people what they cared about and, in terms of what matters to people in terms of their jobs and what we wanted to see more of. And what emerged actually is sometimes the things that our community thought were not in place were in place. For example, more funding for application, more kind of help around support for applying for funding, but actually it wasn't being communicated or advertised. So I think that was really important.
And also having ARC members there talking with us about the need to understand research culture and how to improve research culture, knowing that there are seminars going on, that ECRs can participate here at Crash or throughout the university. And so just building that network and helping people find the tools that will help them have a better experience was really great at the launch. And so, did you want to talk about our upcoming event?
Yeah, of course. So building on the momentum of our launch that happened earlier in spring, I'm really looking forward to running this event on the 4th of June, which, as you mentioned earlier, we're thinking about career trajectories. And I think our idea behind that was to kind of, again, showcase the diversity of careers. And it felt like when we had our launch, one thing that really emerged all the time was this sort of looming idea of precarity, what that means to people, why it's so important. Beyond things about welfare and being well remunerated, I think the kind of permanence and precarity is so important. So we decided to base our second event on this. And so we're having, again, I'm really excited by it. The panel we've got lined up, who are a mixture of academics and kind of one-time academics who've shifted into new kinds of careers, things like archives, libraries, research, really exciting, coming to talk about their sort of diverse and myriad paths to start off with, which I think will be great. And then do you want to talk about
I quite like the second. So we'll do a survey to find out what precarity means to ECRs in attendance. And so it'll be really great to have a full audience there to participate and have their voices heard.
And that survey happens live, doesn't
exactly.
it?
Exactly.
It's so exciting.
Interactive, it's fun, and we'll actually go through and digest and deliberate and discuss the results from that survey live in person. And then that is followed by some research reporting from research culture representatives to give us a good idea of what the landscape of research precarity looks like and teaching precarity looks like for ECRs currently, and how we can improve and we can prepare ourselves for the job market.
Yeah, great. What do you think would count as a success for this, Josh? Like, what should we aim for doing this?
Yeah,
for this event, and I guess like long term.
Yeah, I think going forward, it would be wonderful to have more of a permanent connection with Postdoc Academy and having our voices heard as members of AHSS going forward, having permanent representatives on council, and having action items that matter to people in our diverse schools. What do you think is it?
I think, I think that's all true. And I also think things that really came through were things about connecting up college and faculty was often something, wasn't it?
Yes,
that felt like a really important one for people. I think they can make a difference too. And again, going back to the precarity, obviously we can't fix the kind of structural economic problems, but I think, again, like doing research into A, the economic reality of it, and B, how people feel about it, will hopefully, A, make people, feel more heard and make change happen. So I think that would count as success for me.
Yeah, definitely. I think also there's the idea of having a say, having more input in what Career Services Office offers, because that's another group that we've brought into the discussion. They're there to help us find jobs, and placement after these fixed term contracts or our postdoc time has come to an end, and having more inclusion of these types of groups that are already set up. They have all the nuts and bolts ready, and we just need to sort of ratchet it down to help us find our place in what career services can offer is another future goal that I think would be really great to see.
And also I think we talked more, haven't we, about things being valued as kind of early career scholars. We often absorb lots of things that we want to do and they're important to us, and that can be really kind of stimulating, things like teaching, widening participation, outreach, and kind of generally improving research and teaching culture. And those things are really important, but I think aren't always valued in the places where they might be, in terms of, again, kind of building a career portfolio. So I think it'd be really important to see what our kind of policies are on that and what the reality is.
Yeah, as the diversity of ECRs becomes more recognizable, right? So people who are coming from non-traditional backgrounds, people who are maybe struggling in different ways but are afraid to even talk about it. That would be one thing too, to have their voices more represented in schools, and make sure we can, because as we're taking the role of this new position in shape sector and shaping that the outcomes that'll be, research and teaching outcomes for universities across the UK, across the world, fixing or at least addressing issues that a diverse type of early career researcher experiences would be a crucial way forward. I mean, it's a vision to have it, have our assembly be more representative of people's voices who are oftentimes neglected or feel like they can't even participate.
Yeah, absolutely.